Hello everyone. So next one today I will talk about the part for intonation, falling tone, right intonation, rising tone. Yard real, falling intonation, statement, command, exclamation, WH question. Falling intonation describe how the voice fall on the final stress syllable of the phrase or a group of words. A falling intonation is very common in a WH question. Number 1. Statement. Sentence affirm a fact, opinion, idea. Example, I study English every day. Number 2. Command. Command is another situation, so I would say example of falling intonation. Put that down. Go over there. Stand against the wall. Put that over there. Order us or other to do something. Example, put the paper down. Please. Please. Number 3. End of sentence. And we also tend to use the downward inflection as end of our sentence as end of a content. When we're indicating that we are finished, what it is that we want to say. Again, we tend use a falling intonation. Number 4. WH question. Questions that begin with what, when, who, why, how. Example, where are you from? Where are you from? Exclamation. Example, express feeling to one thing. Example, what a lovely dog. What a lovely dog. Part 2. Rise intonation, rising tone. Describe starting a sentence with a loud voice and raising it higher than the ordinary tone on the last syllable of a sentence, phrase, a group of words.
In the human voice, it would be a change in pitch, a glide in the pitch of our voice upwards. So for instance, ooh, ooh. Now we tend to use this sort of rising intonation pattern when we're asking questions, so the pitch of our voice tends to go up. So for instance, when does the meeting start? When does the meeting start? Start. Can you hear that? Ooh, start. It rises, it comes up in the voice. Would you like a cup of tea? Would you like a cup of tea? So the question is a sort of way of sending out an invitation for some kind of response to whoever you're speaking to. I mean, we do use this downward inflection, which I'll talk more about in a moment, for some questions, but typically speaking, we tend to use this upward inflection. Another instance in which we would use this upward or rising inflection would be on lists. So if I'm saying, I'd like some eggs, some milk, some cheese, and some bread, and we would use a downward inflection, bread, to say that we've finished the list. But on the items before that, we would use a rising inflection. So I would say eggs, milk, cheese, bread. I'd like some eggs, milk, cheese, bread. So they're lists, and most questions we would use this rising intonation pattern. A falling or downward intonation pattern would simply mean that the pitch of the voice drops down. So for instance, ooh, ooh. So I would say, for instance, if I'm making a statement, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's one instance that I would use this downward inflection. Commands is another situation. So I would say, put that down. Put that down. Go over there. Stand against the wall. Yeah? Downward inflection. Or put that over there. Downward inflection. So statements, commands, exclamations. Yeah, those are the three instances in which we use this downward inflection. And we tend to use a downward inflection, as I said, with lists at the end of our sentences, at the ends of our content. So when we're indicating that we've finished what it is that we want to say, again, we tend to use this downward inflection. But there is one more. There's something called a circumflex inflection. And you don't need to remember that name. It's a very posh name.